What is up, everybody? You know who this is. This is Jason Christ, Jason the Baptist, Jason the Messiah, he who is holy, the one and motherfucking only, right? Just Jason from Hustle Hard. How's everybody doing out there? First and foremost, I hope everybody had a great weekend. It's still going for a lot of us. You know, it's a holiday weekend here. So, for those of you who are off today, I hope you enjoy a good barbecue or some time with the family or whatever it is you decide to do, whether it's just sitting in bed all day, which you all know I don't actually agree with, but it's kind of, but if that's what you need to do, that's what you need to do to recharge yourself, all right? Today's topic, you know, this is kind of funny. I was actually, everybody out there knows that I'm really big on self reflection. And I believe that through self reflection, we is the only way that we're really going to have any sort of growth. And it's the truth, plain and simple. I don't care what anybody says. You know, that is my opinion anyway, and I'm entitled to it. But what are the benefits of it? You know, a lot of people are like, oh well, once you have self reflection, you'll start to understand the benefits. But what are those benefits? I mean, a lot of people. I'm gonna be real. A lot of people, it's just an empty term. And I feel it's a kind of the problem with a lot of these self help people out there. You know, empty terminology. Like, what is self reflection? You know, what is self improvement? What is X? What is Y? What is Z? You know, and a lot of people don't know. So, self reflection is the simple act of looking within oneself to identify the positives as well as the negatives and seeing what is it that we could work on to become better people. What is it that we already have in us that allow us to be the people that we are? You know, the good aspects, of course, as well as the bad. You know, you have to have both in a way. I do believe in that whole yin and yang, dark and light situation. Without the two, sometimes you can never really have the whole. I know that kind of contradicts itself in a sense when we're talking about self reflection, but it does make a difference. Like, for example, the other day, all of you out there know that I had a pretty crappy injury, and I've been healing up from it, and I've been doing a lot better. But I had this crazy dream. And in my dream, I saw myself a couple years from now. And I hadn't, and it made me realize a lot of things. I saw myself and I was walking with a crazy limp. I was kind of like a gimp, and it scared the shit out of me, to be real. In the dream, I'm seeing myself from outside, an outside point of view, and I'm seeing myself walk, and I got a cane, and I'm walking with a crazy limp, and I'm just like kind of like gimped out, and it wasn't cool. And when I woke up, it was one of those dreams where you remember every bit of it. And I do believe, now this might be from it's probably my upbringing. I'll admit it. You know, my upbringing is 100%, as well as yours, is 100% a big marker about who we are. But in my upbringing, if you had a dream, and it was something that truly you woke up and you couldn't quit thinking about that dream, that was your inner self trying to speak to the ego, if you will. And the ancestors coming through, type stuff like that. But for me, I've always believed more so than ancestors trying to speak to me, it's the inner self trying to speak to the ego and to the outer self. And my inner self was saying, hey, I don't want to be a gimp. My outer self was like, whatever, in a sense, right? So I sat there when I woke up and I literally meditated for about 2 hours on this. Couldn't get it out of my mind. And I sat into my head and I made a checklist, if you will, of everything that I haven't been doing that I should have been doing, as well as all the things that I have been doing and that I could kind of speed up to do a little bit harder, to do a little bit better, to get better results, and in the long run, not be a gimp. Now, those of you out there, I'm not trying to disparage gimps, whatever, but I'm sure somebody will take insult to that. But if you're a gimp, hey, you're a gimp. If you wear your leather little outfit or whatever floats your boat out there, all right? So, point being, I used self reflection, and I thought about all of the things that I could be doing better, as well as all the things that I was already doing good. And I kind of wanted to use that today because of that. And I thought, okay, we all talk about self reflection, but what are, as I said before, the benefits thereof? And so I made a little list, basically, just eight little characteristics, eight little benefits of what will come about through self reflection. You know, like I said before, I highly recommend meditation. Start out 5 minutes if you can, move it to 10, move it to 15, and just look within, because that's where all of the answers in our lives actually exist, is within. You know, like the Gospel of Thomas. A lot of people will get angry about the Gospel of Thomas if you're into Christianity, where they say where it was supposed to be first century, of course, and the actual words of Jesus or whatever were, now if you believe the Gospel of Thomas, of course, but the actual words of Jesus, where you'll never find God within four walls. You'll never find peace within four walls. You only find it within yourself, And I believe that shit 100%. So here are a few of the benefits that I believe come through self-reflection, all right? First and foremost, through self-reflection, you will boost your emotional intelligence. Now, you're asking, what the fuck is it? What is that, Jason? Well, by your emotional intelligence, I like to say kind of who you really are, but why. Why do you feel the way you do about different things? Why is it one thing makes you angry when it doesn't make another person angry? Why is it you feel love for this when, maybe other people don't? Your emotional intelligence. Why? What makes you happy? What makes you sad? What brings you happiness? If you today had one chance to do one thing in your entire life that you knew would make you happy, what would you do? And that's kind of, for me, emotional intelligence. It's how we feel and the feelings that make up who we are. You got a lot of people out there, they'll say, oh, well, that person is a very intense person. Okay. Well, first define intense, of course, but we're going to put it as most of us will know what intense means. But why are they intense? Through self-reflection, they could figure out why it is that they are the way they are. Why are they happy about this? Why do they feel so deeply about X, Y, or Z? And that to me is your emotional intelligence. It's a lot to do with the heart in a sense. That's an easy way to put it, but it is how I'm going to put it. The whys, of why we are, and I realized through my own personal self-reflection that I'm a pretty happy guy, and I'm pretty chill. And the reason is because I learned a long time ago that anger doesn't really get you anywhere, and it doesn't get you anything. For the most part, anger is really just kind of burning yourself, like that old saying of picking up a coal from the fire and trying to throw it at somebody. You can be angry all you want, but the reality is the person you're angry at doesn't even understand the concept of why you're angry most of the time, or if they even give a shit. So it's really just hurting you, and that stuff eats at the soul. So obviously don't do it. I think that kind of sums up boosting your emotional intelligence, the why you are the way you are and why you feel the way you feel. And once you understand that, though, you will understand how not to do certain shit. Something that makes you unhappy, you'll understand. Before you even going into it, you're like, look, I know that this is going to make me unhappy. Don't do it. This will make me sad. This will make me happy. This is going to make me angry. This is what I'm going to be indifferent at. You'll understand the concepts of all these, and you won't kind of gravitate towards them so readily. It's getting to know yourself deeper, the inner self, and why the inner self works the way it does. Let's go to number 2. Self-reflection, and this has helped me a million times over, has definitely improved my relationships with other people. Now, those of you who know me, I'm kind of a loner type of person. I'm one of those people that is great with a crowd. I enjoy people. I enjoy meeting people. I've got a million acquaintances and probably four friends. You know what I mean? I'm one of those type of guys. But that doesn't mean that I don't have relationships. Well, in a sense, I have a relationship with each and every one of those people, and it's a beautiful thing. But through self reflection, I realized kind of why I am the way I am, not only with emotional intelligence, but how I am with people, in a sense. I'm one of those guys that could get up on stage and talk to a crowd of thousands of people, not blink an eye. Maybe I'd be a little nervous for the first second or two, first 30 seconds, but it goes away really quickly. It's just who I am, and that's a lot of people don't do that. But that's something in me. And it's kind of something to do with relationships because I feel I'm really good one on one with people. Just as good. I'm just as good one on one as I am with a group of 1,000. And knowing why I am that way, in a sense, is a lot to go back with childhood and things like that. And to be real, I like I like solitude. But this has helped me so much because it's helped me literally to identify other personality types of people and be able to work within their personality type within my own personality type. Now, a lot of people will be like, "Oh, I don't want to be around that person. They're too much." Right? But by self-reflection, I've realized that I can hang out with anybody even if they're too much just by dialing exactly to where I am within their too muchness, if you will. And this has helped me on a personal level a million times over. And because we all have those friends that are too much. We all have those friends that are just like the Eeyores out there, oh bother, oh life sucks, people, and all of that. And you have to, through self reflection, I've learned why I am the way I am, and it's allowed me to work within the confines of why everybody else is the way they are, if you will. And I think it's helped me in all of my relationships. My personal ones, as I said, I have a million acquaintances, and I have some truly good friends that are more brothers and sisters than they are friends. It's helped me in business a lot. And how it's helped me in business is I've been able to identify personality types. And by identifying those personality types, it's allowed me to work within those personality types. For example, say you get a Donald Trump type of cat, right? You're doing business. Now, you never want to give up your own self respect, your own dignity, or anything like that. But if they have something that can really help you, in a sense, you understand that their personality type is the type that kind of have to butter their ass a little bit. Like they want everybody to want them and need them and all of that type of shit. So you understand how you could work with person X. You have other people who are very say they're very kind of quiet and silent. You almost don't know what they want, but you know what they need. So you're able to work within the confines of that. And that's the same with friends, as I said. Business has helped me immensely. And even within my own love life, if you will, my relationships with women. I'm not an easy guy to probably live with. I understand this. I'm probably not as clean as I could be. I definitely live within my own world. I'm not used to being around other people's like other people's situations, I guess. I've lived on my own for decades, it seems like. But understanding through self-reflection, it's allowed me to say, okay, cool. She is this way because of this, this, and that. I am this way because of this, this, and that. And what it allows you to do is find a point in which you could work together as a single unit together. And it's helped me. So I highly recommend self-reflection just for the fact that if you want to improve your relationship at home with your wife, husband, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever it is, I highly recommend that. Because once you know yourself, it's a lot easier to understand others. And that right there, I mean, that could be the whole benefit of everything. Once you know who you are, it's easier to start understanding why other people are who they are. Okay. Another one. I'm gonna do number 3 real quick. Sorry, skin's a little dry. I am in Las Vegas. Skin gets dry out here. There's no humidity whatsoever. It's not like back in Florida where you were constantly wet. So, here we go. Number 3 is be able, through self reflection, it's allowed me to be able to spot opportunities that are coming up in my life. And it's also allowed me to spot the threats. And that's just as important, if not more important, really. You know, by spotting opportunities, by knowing who it is that I am, and what it is that I want, I have become far more able to say, okay, cool, this is going to benefit me. I know who I am. I know what it is I want. This is what I need. This is what I want. This is what I desire. And you see it. Boom, boom, boom. X, Y, Z. I love saying X, Y, Z. Obviously, you guys know that. But it's because I'm a math dork. So X, Y, Z. You know what you want. Scientific method. And it's already instilled in your brain, okay? On the opposite, you know exactly what you don't want. And X, Y, Z. You're able to spot that right away. Okay, this is going to fuck me over. Don't do this. And you're like, you see it. And a lot of times, once you get to that level of self-reflection, you know who you are, what it is you want, what are your desires, what are your passions, what are your needs. You become, it's like your light. It's like, it's kind of funny. I like to think of Le Vampire Lestat, right? When Lestat first opened his eyes as a vampire and he saw the world totally new, the eyes on the statues opened up type shit, right? That's what it's like when you first open your eyes, when you understand who it is you are, what it is you want, what your passions are, what your desires are, where you're going, where you want to go, what you need. Totally different world. And I'm going to be real with you. At first, it's almost scary. The clarity that you get is almost scary because you've gone through your life in a haze, a big fuzz. And once you have that clarity, everything changes, And then you see the shit that you don't want, you don't need. You recognize old patterns, Like, say you have a pattern, not like me, of dating crazy women, crazy guys. Now you say, okay, X, Y, Z. This is what I want. This is what I know I had. And you instantly see all of those patterns, And my God, does that make a difference? So it is it's a beautiful thing. That bit of clarity change your entire life. Self-reflection, if you can get that, I guarantee you that might be all you really need in life. You know what I mean? Just that little piece of clarity to allow you to see opportunities and threats all around you, And they're all around you. Abundance is everywhere. Abundance is everywhere. But so is danger, so is threats. Yin and yang. You can't have one without the other. So there's just as much abundance as out there. There's just as much fucking negativity out there trying to keep you away from it. And usually that's within yourself. Okay? All right. Actually, you know what? All of these are just insanely I could have put it, any one of these could be the single reason for self-reflection. But this one, number 4, 100%. I could have just said this and nothing else. Boosting your confidence. All right? Confidence is everything. I'm serious. Everything. I'm not talking being cocky. I'm not talking being fucking self-righteous and stuff like that. I'm talking about being confident. You know who you are. You know what you want. You know your passions. You know your desires. You know the direction in which you want to go. You're spotting all of these opportunities out there. You're seeing all the threats. You know how to work within relationships, how to work with person type A, type B. You know your own emotional intelligence. That will give you confidence because I'm going to guarantee you the next guy don't. The next girl don't. They don't know where they're going. They're kind of just skipping through things, And I'm going to be real. I have gotten jobs and gigs, stuff like that in my life based on confidence alone, not skill. That is a reality right there. Confidence will usually take you further than skill will. further than knowledge will. So be confident in who you are. You can fake it till you make it through anything as long as you're confident in it. But you got to believe in yourself, because at the end of the day, if you don't believe in yourself anyway, who the fuck else is? So you got to be confident in who you are, what you are, and the fact that you can do any damn thing on the earth. Nothing can hold you back but yourself. So let's go number 5. Foster personal growth. Self-reflection will foster personal growth. Now, personal growth, knowing who we are, knowing what we want, knowing our passions, right? That's all reflection. But growth says we're moving towards those things. We're saying, okay, I know what I want. I'm moving forward to getting it. I know who I am. I'm a confident motherfucker, you know, almost cocky. You don't have to be humble in life. I know a lot of people say, be humble, be humble, be humble. I try to be humble, but I'm going to be real. I'm probably not as humble as I'd ever think I was. But that comes with confidence. You could be humble and be like, cool, yeah, I did this, whatever. I do that all the time. A lot of people are like, oh, well, yeah, you did all this stuff. You got multiple degrees and all. I don't give a shit about any of that crap. I just did it because I felt like doing it at the time. But once you understand these things, though, this personal growth, you're moving towards the stuff that you need to be doing. You're growing not only in your relationships, you're going to grow in your business. You're going to grow with your girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever it is you have in life. But here's the other thing. Other people are going to see you. They're going to see your confidence now. They're going to see all of those other aspects we talked about. And you're going to foster, whether you realize it or not, you're going to foster personal growth within other people, because they're going to see how your reflection within yourself allowed you to grow so much. And those people are going to want you to mentor them. And I truly believe that if somebody asks you, hey, Jay, if somebody says to me, hey, Jay, why is it, how are you doing this, man? What did you have to do X, Y, and Z? What is it you did? And I'd be like, oh, well, self-reflection, meditation, and growth, and confidence, and all that, and go through the list. Mentor somebody. Teach somebody else what it is you're doing. Because you know what? It's not, a lot of people are like, oh, the game is to be sold, not told. Bullshit. Help as many people as you can throughout life, because you know what? Never look down on anybody unless you got your hand out to lift them up. And that person you might help out, what do you know? You might help somebody, and maybe something in life isn't going to go your way. And maybe that one day later on, that person, you're going to run into them and you're like, oh, yeah, cool. Well, I've been looking to do this. And I'm like, oh, cool. Oh, I got you, brother. And maybe they're like, oh, I got you. Hey, I have a company now. Here's a job. Here's this. So always foster everybody else. And even if nothing like that ever happens, who cares? It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. I hate it that people trying to make it out there like it's a fucked up thing to help people. Help everybody that you can, and know that you can learn from everyone, regardless. You can learn from everyone. I have friends that are homeless. I have friends that are billionaires. I treat them identically the same. Both of them have taught me beautiful, wonderful things about life, and that's why we're all the same. We're all just fucking, humans. We're here. We're part of the spark that is the universe that gave us this gift the gift that is life, but remember, we have to earn it. All right. So let's go to number 6. And this kind of ties in with everything I just said. Through self-reflection, once you learn who you are, what you want, your passions, your desires, you learn everything about yourself. What I learned is I really quit. You don't resent others. Okay? Everybody, when you're younger, you resent people. I did. I'll be real. I'll be the first to admit it. I'd be like, why the hell does that guy got a Lamborghini? Fuck him. Why does that guy got the Porsche that I want? Fuck him. Why has he got that hot ass chick? Fuck him. And you resent them for the things that you don't have. But once you really use self-reflection and you use it properly and start to learn your self-worth and everything that's about you, you start to say, okay, cool. Why don't I have a Lamborghini? Why don't I have a Porsche? Why don't I have that hot ass chick? You know? And you don't say, why's he got it and not me? You say, how can I attain that now? What are the steps that I need to take to get my own damn Lamborghini? What are the steps I need to take to get my own Porsche? What are the steps that I need to take to get my own hot ass chick? And even if so, is that chick really that hot? Yeah, she might look good, but maybe, just because fucking Dr. Frankenstein put some boobs on her and a booty and the lips and whatever doesn't necessarily make her that hot, I mean, you can still be very ugly on the inside. And then you start to realize that just because somebody looks like a total dime piece, whether it be a girl or a guy, whatever, if you're a girl, guy, whatever it is you're into in life, just because it looks like a dime piece doesn't mean it's not 3 cents tied together with 7 cents worth of shit. So you start to see, you'll understand people can be very ugly on the inside, but you won't resent them anymore. You're just going to be like, you know what? I know who I am and what I want. What they have is what they have. If I want that, I can get it because I can do anything. That goes right to the next one. Number 7, I'm going to put on here. We release all the negative thoughts. You start to say, well, fuck it. And that's actually, tell you the truth, where I got to. I got to a spot one day where I'm not really negative. There are negatives out there, but I just don't give a shit. Because, in the end of the day, they only really affect you if you allow them to affect you. And once you start to know who you are, as I said, you understand everything about yourself, all that negative shit out there, you just like, fuck it. And that it makes you look kind of cold. It definitely allows people to think you're indifferent about a lot of things. I will say it is kind of hard when you're in a relationship and you start to understand yourself so much that the other person, maybe they don't understand themselves as much as that, they don't understand themselves as much as you do you. And then you're kind of like, well, fuck it, That sounds messed up, but it's true. You might not care about something the way somebody else does because in the long run it doesn't matter. But it might mean everything to them at that moment. So sometimes you got to kind of, oh, I'm sorry, fake it a little bit, but you don't have negative thoughts on it. You're just like, oh, well, whatever. But, you're at the fuck it phase, but they haven't got there yet. So sometimes you kind of got to like pretend to give a shit. And I know that sounds fucked up, but believe me, it'll help you out. Trust me. Okay. Even if you're well beyond the fuck it phase, nothing's really going to be negative to you because it doesn't hurt you unless you let it. Number 8. This is something that it truly did happen with me. And until I actually really, truly studied my own self-reflection, and it really started, I really liked the benefits of yoga at the time. And yoga really helped me get through a lot of things. And it really did. And then everybody can talk shit on it all they want, whatever, I had a lot of friends talk crap on me about yoga. But yoga allowed me an hour of meditation, moving meditation, in my own mind and soul. And it brought me a lot of wonderful insights as well as meditation. And one of the things it did to me is as I got to know who I am, like I said before, all of my wants, my desires, my needs, my emotional intelligence. Once I saw the greatness within myself and the confidence within myself, it allowed me to see the greatness that existed within others. And not only just the greatness that existed within others, but the potential of greatness that existed within others. And that's just as important. You could look at somebody else and be like, wow, they're on my level. That's cool. But when you could look at somebody and say, you know what, if I were to mentor this person, just a little bit, they can be better. They would be a better person than they ever dreamed they could be. And they would know themselves. They'd see the greatness within themselves. And that really kind of was one of the keys for me is not only seeing the greatness in other people, but seeing the potential of greatness within people that they didn't see within themselves. And that made a difference in my life. And, I've always offered my hand out as a mentor to anybody who needed it just because of that. but it also allowed me to see the negatives in a lot of people. And but once again, that kind of goes back to earlier when we were talking about seeing the threats. You see the negatives in people, and there's some people, I'm gonna be real, they don't want to change. They like being negative because it's what they have. I mean, you would think they'd want to be positive and they'd want to be happy, but some people don't want that. And I mean, I'll never understand why personally. But it is what it is. And you'll start to see the great sacrifices, not only that you've made, but others have made. You'll see the determination in someone's soul. You'll look into their eyes and you'll be like, wow, that person, they've made sacrifices. They've done it just like me. And everybody else can do it. It's kind of like at the end of the day, you kind of have to think of all of your emotions in a way. And this kind of sounds screwed up. Think of them as all of your emotions, the things that have happened to you in your life, all those negative things, okay? And believe me, I had a lot of negative shit that went down in my life growing up. And what I did is I basically, to put it in my type of terms, right? The hustle hard terms, if you will. I looked at all those things and I said, fuck it, I'm going to make this shit my bitch. And every one of my demons that I ever had in my life, whether they were perceived, like contrived, like nurture versus nature type situation, we all have them. I kind of said, fuck, I'm going to make them my bitch. A lot of people go out there and the reason I say it like that is because I grew up with a lot of people that were like alcoholics and drug addicts and stuff like that. And I have a lot of friends that went through all of that, family members, a lot of people who didn't make it because of it. And they didn't do that. They didn't take their demons and all of their negative things in their life and say, even if they tried, they didn't do the self reflection that was needed, They didn't see that these things don't define them. They allowed them to define them, and they tried to hide them and kill them with drugs and alcohol and all that. I said, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to try to kill the pain away so that way I can wake up and try to have to kill the pain away again tomorrow. I said, I'm going to make these demons my bitch, and I'm going to make them be a part of who I am and part of my learning process. I'm not going to allow them to define me, but I'm going to admit that they are a part of me, and I'm going to use that part of them to boost up everything that's positive, And the key is you have to, through self-reflection, you'll start to identify those demons. And once you've identified them, you'll address them. And then once you've addressed them and you understand why they're there, the reasons behind this, that, X, Y, and Z, you're going to change. And you'll usually always change for the better. You'll come to the realization that bad shit happens to good people. And sometimes kids get fucking the shit end of the stick for a while. But it doesn't mean that you have to live a horrible life. It means that that's something that was put on your path, on your journey, for you to learn from and learn to become a better person from. And I know it sounds horrible, but it's true, It's kind of like we're judged by our adversities, We're judged by the challenges that we had in our life. And really, we should be judging ourselves by the adversities and the challenges. Other people are like, oh, they had a rough life. No wonder they're fucked up, But I say you take those same adversities and them same challenges and you're like, you know what? I'm going to use these as my tool, my way to become a better person and become the person that I truly need to be, And that's it, I mean, that is kind of like the crux of it all, And yeah, I do believe that through self-reflection, I've become a better person. And so can you. Remember, you can do anything you want. So on that, I'm going to let everybody go. Today is a wonderful Monday. We'll see you all again on Wednesday. Can you believe this is podcast 19 already? Isn't that nuts? So, yeah, I know. By the way, we just broke 300 people on the Hustle Hard Facebook page. Thank you all very much. We're growing. We're growing every single day. It's only getting bigger, and it's only getting more and more intense. We're growing together. And we're living and learning together, and that's what it's all about to me, okay? So everybody out there, as they say in old Canada, peace out, or as they should be saying, pitter patter, get at her, Bonnie McMurray. Everybody watch Letterkenny, okay? As they say in old Miami, hasta luego, dale dale ciao. And as I love to say in my beautiful adopted hometown of Las Vegas, Nevada, my not so sweet, not so subtle city of sin, deuces, I'm out. Everybody have a wonderful day. Yeah, enjoy it. Remember, if you try and you fail, give yourself a high five and a congratulations. Because very few people will ever do that at all. Nobody wants to try, you know? And every foot forward is just that, a foot forward. All right, everybody. Love y'all. See you Wednesday. Deuces.